Yo.
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 Yo. We've been doing this for 1 year, and we instantly realized we also have to watch Flames hockey when they're losing.
Walker dude.
Walker dude! You should trust the Daryl Sutter process. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Puck and Stuff podcast, where we talk about puck and other stuff. Today, more puck. Flames talk. That's the way to go. How you doing, B-Dog?
I'm doing pretty good on this side of the stage, where we obviously talk about hockey and this team that honestly didn't have a great start, but now they're on a 3-game win streak. So that's something to look forward to, right? Right?
I feel like every time we do a new Flames talk, it's a different sound. Last Flames talk, we're like, rebuild. Do I need to say more? No, I don't.
No, you don't.
This episode, it's we should rebuild, but we've won a few games and it was actually kind of promising, some of those wins. So I guess we'll get into it. First, we lost to the Stars 4-3. Oh yeah, that game. Then we beat the Kraken in Seattle 6-3, pretty dominant win. Then we beat the Preds 4-2, another great win. Shootout loss to Toronto. Great game, but you lose in the shootout. Does it count as a loss? No. A great shot by Sharon Govich. That's that shot we've been looking for.
Yeah.
If only it was on 5-on-5, not shootout. And then we lose to Ottawa 4-1. That is not Wolf's fault. And if you think so, you're wrong. Facts don't care about your feelings, liberal.
34 saves and on 38 shots is pretty good. I mean, for your starting debut in the season, that's still pretty good. Still pretty good by Wolf.
Yeah, it was. The team effort was not there, and that's a pretty common theme with the Flames. Goaltender plays good. Players play good. Goaltenders play all right. And that's just how it goes, right? But then we get to the two other games here. On the 14th, the Montreal Canadiens lost 2-1. Kadri getting a goal, that's not too bad. And Vancouver losing 5-2 to the Flames, which felt pretty good, especially since the Canucks have been absolutely on fire recently. And then we play the Islanders tomorrow, so we can kind of get into that. My first thought, and then I'll hand it over to you, buddy. A resurgence in some of these players. We seem to have a few lines that look pretty solidified now. The call-up of Martin Pospisil and Connor Zary has been significant for this team.
Yeah.
Without them, especially Pospisil, I don't think you see the way Kadri's been playing. The youth has helped him resurge to more of a competitive style player and someone who's been able to get the puck. That's really helped. I don't think the Coleman line's been too bad either. And I mean, our fourth line, every so often, there's been a few games the fourth line's looked pretty solid. I like AJ Greer. He brings grit and some tenacity. He's a smart guy. I was listening to him on the radio interview coming home from work there when they were playing the Nucks. And yeah, I mean, it's looked decent so far. One thing I do like about this team too, defense gets up in the rush a little more, which can be great and bad. But right now, when you're winning, it's good. So I'll leave that to you. What you think?
Well, okay. So if we're taking the positives so far, you are correct. I think Connor Zary and Martin have been great effect to the lineup, and obviously Kadri, like you said, and he's proving it by scoring a few times in the last few games, and he's looking a lot more aggressive on the rush too. So I love seeing that from Kadri, that it took some rookies to finally get him going and hit that next gear for sure. Connor Zary's looking promising, man. It's really nice to see that our former first round pick is playing hit to the potential in the NHL. That's really nice to see, because we expected it out of Matt Coronado. Sadly, he got called down, but he's lighting the lamp in the WHL right now, or the AHL, not WHL. So he's lighting the lamp right now. So I'll love when he comes back up. But Connor Zary is earning a spot on this team right now, and I love to see it, because I think a guy that was stuck in the AHL for a couple seasons and he tore it up there, and now he's tearing it up in the NHL. So I love to see that. But other than that, there's not a whole lot to go off of. Elias Lindholm has looked kind of average. He's kind of on a slump a little bit, but we've kind of noticed that from him the
He's
last
not
few seasons.
kinda. He is on a slump.
Oh,
Let's face some facts here.
I'll face the facts. I'll face the music. He's having a slump,
I
and
mean,
he's been
he
like
had
that
a
since
goal.
Gaudreau and Kachuk realistically left, to be honest. Then what else the hell we got? Huberto probably had his best game against the Vancouver Canucks, though. That was kind of nice to see him finally show a little bit of what he can do at his full potential, and he got a goal out of it. So I'll give him that. I would love to see if that just kept going. And yeah, that's really about it. Another thing we could also talk about is the Zadorov has requested a trade from the Calgary Flames. We could talk about that. That is something I kind of was expecting, but it was just when I heard it, I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of out of nowhere.
Well, let's talk about it now, because why not?
Why not?
Do you blame him?
No.
Like honestly, do you blame him? So yeah, we've won some hockey games now, but it's still like, don't let this screen you from the fact that we're still a crappy team.
I mean, yay, we're on
Really.
3-game winning
We're
streak.
we're getting up there, but like it's hard to compete with these top teams in the conference, man. It is. And I mean, I say that in Vancouver, but point aside.
Well, okay, Vancouver is a team that the Flames could beat, but teams we were worried about realistically was Vegas, LA, and Edmonton.
Yeah.
Because they were expected to be the top 3 teams of this division. So
that's true. But
congrats,
can you blame Zadorov? Can you blame Zadorov for wanting out? Because you call out your teammates, which I know people are kind of whatever on it, but I'm actually all for it because somebody needs some accountability. I'm hoping that Backlund would be this vocal guy. And he's probably vocal in the room, of course, but he's not very vocal in the media, so we don't see it much. But it leads us to believe that he hasn't been doing his job properly. He probably is. But so calls him out. They don't like it. So he probably wants out. Why his agent tweeted that out, I don't know. Probably for a little bit of publicity. Maybe it adds value. I have no idea. I'm not in that business mindset like this agent would be. But I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Like what's in it for him? Honest to goodness right now. So, and how has he played? I think he's played all right. I think he's gotten better every season. But to say that he's the number 1 D on the team is
sad.
Sad. You know what they say though on a resume? Always emphasize a little bit, just to make yourself look a little better. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, you kind of saw it with Zadorov as soon as he basically was calling out the team in the media, which isn't obviously a great look, but it was needed. It was understanding from a fan point of view. I have
no problem with it.
Obviously, the team wasn't playing to the expectation some of us thought the team could after a really struggling season. But I think Zadorov had every right to call out the team. Obviously, the team was not impressed by it. And now he requested a trade. He wants to go. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to a contender and a team that really needs a big defenseman like Zadorov. And maybe we just honestly put in another rookie there. Honestly, that's what I would take out of it. Like, add some more young depth and group to the lineup has obviously shown that it's working. You saw that with Connor Zary, and you're seeing it more and more. So if you do trade Zadorov, it wouldn't hurt to put a rookie there. It obviously adds a little bit of spark to the lineups.
I mean, I think Solovyov could get into that spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? By the end of the season, I think you'll see a much younger team. One being because I do think you're going to get some trades out of the way in the trade deadline and all that stuff, but I do think by the end of the season you're going to see Zary in the lineup, Pelchi in the lineup, Ruzicka, Pospisil, and you will see Coronado again. Just give it a little bit of time here. I was saying before Christmas, that's my opinion. But look, I mean, even Walker Duehr too, right? He might even say I don't know about room wise. But defense, I mean, yeah, Dennis Gilbert probably would still stay there.
Poirier? I think Poirier can make a lineup.
Poirier, thank you. Yeah, Poirier, true, and Slovyov, so like
He-
that, and DeSimone as well. So,
Yeah.
it'll be younger. I mean, that's what. How many people did I name? 4. We're not trading
You name
anyone, so
if you were
no.
talking about all of it, well, the ones you just named, I would say you named like 7,
Well,
8.
Zadorov. Okay, so hold on. Zadorov is gone, so that leaves you. Is Hanifin gone? That's the thing because he had. So here's the thing: the extension talks going to happen. Then we have that really crappy start to the season. They've stopped the extension talks, but apparently it's in the 8-year, 60 mil range, meaning an 8-year by 8 years for 7.5 AAV. I mean, we don't have the money for that, but that's kind of the market value you're going to have to pay for a defenseman like Noah Hanifin and what he can provide to your team. I'm not saying he's a bad defenseman. It's just.
But then you probably would
kinda
have to get rid of a very big contract, which at this point
it's
is
tough.
kind of, you could probably even think about Coleman on that. Where does Elias Lindholm land in that situation?
Yeah, that's
Well,
tough.
yeah, because the question I was going to ask you was after Zadorov, who is the next Flame you would think that would get traded next?
I think it's going to be Lindholm, man.
Yeah.
Even if we made a wild card spot, I mean, how far are we going to go? And like it's no, it's trade him while it's hot. I mean, his value might be a little low right now in the sense that not too much.
He's on
He
a
is leading
slump.
the team in points. He is leading the team in points, so you
Yep.
can play that. But it's the goal scoring he's known for, and what is he on pace for? 3 goals in 16 games. So like just over 20. I'm not good with math.
Well, because actually a player I was thinking that could potentially get traded was either Hanifin. Well, as soon as you mentioned the talks, I was like thinking Hanifin, if he doesn't get signed, could be
What about
traded
Tanev?
because, dude, 7x8 for Hanifin sounds like a little bit much. But again, that's the market.
7.5 by the way.
If he's worth 7x8 in just contract talks, are you sure I'd rather get the first out of him instead of signing him? You already
I hope.
like I hope. If anything, I would say Hanifin and Chris Tanev are probably 2 players that would get traded before Lindholm. I think a Lindholm is a deadline deal, but if you're talking about players that the trade up next is probably those 2. Like Tanev is on his last legs. He's dealt with injuries for the last couple seasons in Calgary. He's a very great defensive defenseman, but I think he's still old. He probably wants to go to a contender in the last few seasons. So I maybe get a prospect out of it or even add in Hanifin with it and maybe get some picks. Like those 2, I would probably say would go, but Lindholm seems like a trade deadline situation.
Good point. I think most of these will, but okay, barn burner. Brett Warner makes a great point. You have all these people on the trading block, so you're gonna trade them all at the deadline, most likely, because that's when most trades happen during the season.
Yeah.
How are you gonna get good value for all of them, waiting that long, and doing this all at the same time?
Yeah,
he's right. It's kind of it's improbable. That's tough, and that's what you need. You need picks, man, and that's man. I'm glad the team's winning. It's fun, right? Like fans are enjoying it, and we're smiling about it because Hubie's looking better and stuff. But the reality is, man, we now that we talk about it, we really do need this retool, no matter what. Like I just feel like we're delaying it more, right? But it's got to happen eventually, and it needs to happen soon because. But it's tough. Like you're put in such a weird situation because of all the signings and the people that's gonna stay on your team. Like, because what happens when you officially go for that retool, which I think is inevitable? Where are you gonna ship off Markstrom, right? Where are you gonna ship off Vladar? Where are you gonna get Kadri, right? I mean, he wants no partner rebuild. Where are you gonna put him with the money? Like it's a tough thing, man. Like Conroy's in a tough spot.
I mean, yeah, Conroy is in a tough spot, but like I think when you look at our goaltending, that's probably the best market value realistically on the team right now. Because if you're trying to get rid of Markstrom, he's showing that he still kind of shows flashes of what he can do in net. And he's a big goalie presence that I think a lot of teams right now would be like, oh God, I would love a goalie like him right now instead of who I have.
There's a team up north.
Yeah.
There's a team up north that needs one.
But
I mean,
Calgary would never do that unless they send first round picks up the ass or something. But like still, I think if you're realistically looking at it, Markstrom could be a piece that you could move, but I don't think the team will do it until they're confident enough in Wolf to take over for them.
Yeah, time will tell. At the end of the day, like you eventually need to get Wolf in here like full time.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best this year. Now that we say, maybe going up and down is better, just because. Do you really want him to be in such a? I mean, right now it's fine, but when we start losing again, you want him to be in a negative atmosphere.
I mean,
probably not the best.
It's a tough, smart idea. It's a smart idea. It's tough
because like he's too good for the AHL. Like he has to take the step soon. It's got to be now, man. Like I don't know. It's a tough one to think. How I see it right now is I'm just enjoying this season in the sense that I have no expectations. I have no expectations of them winning the cup, right? Or going far in the playoffs. So I'm just seeing how this goes. And I hope the boys club doesn't ruin it, because I feel like you're dealt a pretty bad hand right now in some aspects, and you're just going to have to figure your way out of it. And I just hope they take the smart approach instead of the approach that is the impulsive approach that happens when you're in a certain scenario at that moment, right? I just hope it's more long-term thinking.
So actually, I guess if we kind of jump to that question, you said Elias Lindholm would be probably a piece that could leave. I said Tanev and Hanifin would be a piece that could leave. If we do somehow start sucking again, which we probably will, I'm kind of curious, what like pieces would you want on this team to kind of like rebuild, retool around here? Like, because if I'm realistically looking at it, you do want some veteran leadership on this team. And I don't know if I want Backlund as that main leadership guy anymore. And I'm just curious, what would you kind of like, what guys would you want to keep if we did?
Good question, man. I mean, I think there's a few. I mean, dude, I'd like to keep Zadorov if he wanted to stay. I mean, he's a leader. We've seen that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through the list, man.
But I think Zadorov makes too many like mistakes, though.
I think
that's the thing with
I think Coleman's good for that sense leadership, but he'd want to go. Uyghur's gonna stay. And so I think Uyghur will be good. Oh goodness, man! It's like most of those guys you think of are probably gonna be gone next year.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So
I just wanted to see what you had to say.
Yeah, veteran-wise, that's tough, man. I think Uyghur, I mean, he'd become a veteran. How easy? He'd become more of the veteran presence, I think. Hopefully Kadri could do that too, because he'll have to stay. But I just think trade-wise, in the sense of if we're trading and stuff, I just draft picks, and I mean, there's young prospects out there. I mean, look how Seattle got Eli Tolvanen. I mean, they got him through just waiver wire. So I hope they can do a few things with that. Like, that'd be kind of nice. I mean, a Shane Wright. I mean, yeah. I mean, could a Shane Wright maybe do something in a team that would give him more opportunity?
Yeah.
Could he? I mean, what would you give Seattle? Like, what does Seattle need, right? I mean,
a goaltender. Grubauer isn't doing shit, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, the defense, Adam Larson's there.
But you could send like Hanifin and Markstrom.
Yeah. A little more and stuff. Eli Tolvanen and Wright and I don't know who else. A pick. Yeah, we'll take a pick. But a little more. So maybe that's tough. It's a weird position. Again, I just want to like watch the season, wait it out. In the sense, I want to see what happens, because we all know what needs to happen, but
they're not going to do it
management. Because especially since I've even heard the rumors of like how Treliving with the Tkachuk trade had multiple offers that he could pull the trigger on, and he was told by ownership to take the experience and veteran package instead of the picks package.
Yeah,
kind of proves what's happening. It's a weird season, man. Like,
it really is.
It's hard. Like just now, I thought I was clear with the ideas of what I was going to say tonight for this episode, but to talk more about it, it's like, yeah, it's great that we're doing good, but I still don't know what this team is, in the sense that really I can't pinpoint the leaders besides Zadorov. Like, can you pinpoint the leaders? Like,
No,
I'm being serious. Yeah,
maybe. I
Backman has
mean,
a C, and some players have an A, but can you pinpoint that out? I can't.
I a little bit with Uyghur and maybe Anderson's kind of hard too with that because like he's been like suspended and injured, so it's kind of like you can't really say him.
Yeah.
Again, it's like a lot of it's a locker room talk. We can't really tell what's happening in there, but obviously in the media, it doesn't really show there's a bunch of leadership other than Zadorov apparently. But oh, this team, like, we're so mediocre. It's so hard to tell which way of the tide we're turning. It's either we're turning towards, oh, rebuild. Oh, no, we win a few games and we look competitive. Oh, we start losing again. Oh,
That's how it goes. And
yeah.
that's the problem with the mediocre teams. It's always like this. They just have terrible slumps where like they need to do something just to like be bad for a few years and like, retool to make themselves better. But then they go on a few streaks and then it makes them look competitive, and then they fight for that last playoff spot and then they don't make it. And then you're just a middle pack team. Because if we wanted to keep going and buy for winning, we just become a Minnesota.
Oh,
First round
God.
exits for the rest of our life.
I mean, I wouldn't
Purgatory.
mind about a Kaprizov over a freaking human.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, you're talking. Yeah, Hannafin, Markstrom, and Tanev, and Lino. Everyone for Kaprizov, bro. I'll take it. Oh my goodness.
No way, dude. That's nuts. Oh,
That's what I was hoping with Huberto, dude. I seriously miss it now. Like, I miss having a superstar on the team, like someone you could just be like, oh yeah,
he's
I
got the
know,
puck.
like
He's
look
got.
up
He's
to
want to
him,
do
and
something. It sucks. No, but
that's
like,
why some days. Sorry, but like that's what some days I envy Oilers fans, because they have like that in McDavid. And they have two. They have two. But like McDavid, man, it's like when all else fails, you have like someone you could just you can build around him. Who do you build around on this team besides Wolf when he gets up here?
mate,
Right? Like
as a winger, Matt Coronado, like Connor Zary, I guess. Like
yeah, but
again, there's no like
they're never gonna
true
be
elite.
elite superstars.
There's no
They're
true
never
elite superstars on this team,
like
but like,
Coronado will be a 30+ goal scorer for a few seasons. I know he will.
yeah,
Pelchi, they'll rack a few points up and they'll look strong, but
you
no
need
superstar
more.
talent
You
there,
need
man.
more.
You do.
You need more like
Wiseman.
strong talent there, and like kind of to answer my question of what you could realistically build around with this team is I think you would want to keep Anderson for the long term as because he's a top two defenseman.
Yeah, that's okay. You're right. Why did I forget that? That's good leadership. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, keep going.
And I think also just because of Uyghur's long term, I think that's just another top defenseman you want to keep on this team. You can fiddle with the bottom lines. I don't give a flying anymore. You can, as long as you keep those two, I think you're fine defensively. I think the only two you realistically keep, like forward core wise for veteran leadership, is the two guys that have the longest contracts, sadly enough, Huberdeau and Kadri. You realistically can't move them unless they want out. And hell, that'll be like 2-3 years until they realistically grow their value more. But yeah, I would say those two are the only ones from the forward core that you can grow. And sadly, Backlund hasn't really shown that he deserves the C so far, in my opinion, like vocal wise. I'm not sure how he is in the locker room for sure, but media wise, it's not looking great, I would say. So
yeah, I expected a little more compassion, I'd say.
Yeah.
Kind of talking like, hey, it's all right and stuff. I don't know, but that's kind of how I see it. That's the thing, right? Yeah, you're right. Like the whole idea of like keeping leadership and keeping veteran, you're forced into a decision like that because of those contracts. You're not choosing to. You're being forced into it.
Yeah.
Like you're losing leverage.
You really are.
That's the problem.
So
that is the problem.
I realistically, welcome to mediocrity again in Calgary. We're probably this is going to be like the 2007 seasons. Or what I would say probably more like 2009, 2010 seasons.
Yeah, you mean that. Yeah, but That's so true. Because I mean, it was like trying to still stay competitive for Iggy, but like, where
We
are you really? Like, I
yeah,
mean, that's what I hope you don't do though, because then you go out and get players like Ole Jokinen and Camilleri and Tanguay for Iggy, and it's like, was that really the thing you should be doing?
no.
So same thing, except like I don't know.
I can't believe we're on a win streak and we're so depressed. like, we know what's
Again.
going to happen next.
Like I was coming into this being like, we're gonna have a positive talk, and then it's just like, oh yeah, reality strikes, and you're like, yeah, this team probably isn't gonna keep going. But I mean, it'd be good to get a winning streak going in the sense for their confidence. I mean, you can beat New York, you can beat the Islanders. Who else do they play?
I
Give me
think
2
after that it
seconds.
gets rough.
If is it a road trip? Seattle again, Nashville, Dallas, Colorado. Ooh. Right, Nashville, Dallas, Colorado. Then you play Vegas at home, Dallas again. A lot of these Western teams, hey. Let's see
So we
how it
start
is.
going on a losing streak right after Seattle? Question mark.
Vancouver, Minnesota, Carolina, New Jersey, Colorado, Vegas, Minnesota. What's with all the West teams? Are we gonna be like East heavy in the latter half of the season?
Probably.
Weird. Oh, December 18th at home against Florida. Wink, wink.
Ooh, could
That's
we go
something.
back to
That'd be fun.
another battle of
That'd be-
Florida situation? Nah, but I mean, the one thing you can take out of this is I believe last season we didn't go on a winning streak. So for any Flames fans watching,
We're very 500 for sure.
yeah, we're very 500, but hey, we're on a winning streak, guys. That's all we got for you realistically. But hey, that's
Yeah.
Flames talk.
I mean, honestly, like, yeah, final words. We'll just keep I mean, it'll be fun to watch the win streak and see how they can perform, get that confidence. Maybe like Huberto getting that goal yesterday, maybe that gives him some confidence and it energizes the locker room as well because the guy who's supposed to get going gets going. That'd be good. I mean, the positive has been the goaltending. Let's be real here. Shout out to Markstrom. Shout out to Vladar. They've been absolutely great. Like Markey, was the reason he was in net for Montreal, right?
Yep. Yep.
Or was it Vladar? I
No,
can't remember now.
it was Markstrom. Markstrom played Montreal and he played Vancouver.
Yeah. He was the reason why they won that game. So that's been the bright side, and the young guys have been the bright side. So that's awesome. Meaning that the parts of the retool, aka the young guys, are working. So that's a positive to me. Just keep watching it and see how it goes, and we'll come back here in a week or two and we'll see what happens. But ultimately, yeah, at least a few things have been figured out in the sense of lineups and well, I wouldn't say positioning, but for sure that. Yeah.
Welcome to mediocrity, boys. Get used to it and get in for the long run. We're going to be here for a while. But hey, guys, if you did enjoy, leave a comment, leave a like, and please subscribe. We love the support you guys gives. And hey, guys, it's Movember, obviously, if you can't tell from T-Dog and I, and our beauty stash is coming
Well,
out.
for you, me, man, it's like
It's there. It's there. It's just a lighting thing. Whatever. But hey,
it's a makeup malfunction.
But hey, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Sounds good, boys. Take care.
Peace.